Hi friends, this video is about one particular rule. Now, this rule applies in any of the fields you speak about. This channel I talk about money, it applies for money. If you think about personal growth, it applies there. If you say it applies, simple, I want to see my wardrobe. What is there, what I don't use, what I use. This applies there. The habits, where I spend my time, the family time, every area this rule applies. Now, what is that rule? You would have heard about it. This is 80-20 rule. 80-20 rule. Now, what is this rule? How did this came into existence? Now, this 80-20 rule is also known as Pareto principle. This was invented by this Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto. Now, what does this say? Theory: 80% of effects comes from 20% of causes. Confusing? Let me elaborate with that. What you say is, simply what he found out in Italy was 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. Now, understood? Either you take 80% of land was owned by 20% of the population. Now, this thing, when you imagine and think about it, what is happening presently? Rich versus poor, what would be the ratio? What do you say? I was talking about examples of your wardrobe. Just find out from the entire lot of your wardrobe how many dresses you wore regularly and how many of them is lying there. Take about your personal health or related to your personal work. Job, how do I put it in my present job? It's mind blowing. No? So, what does it say? The 80-20 rule can be applied in variety of context, including business, personal finance, and time management. In business, for example, the 80-20 rule suggests that 80% of companies' sales comes from 20% of its customers. Just think about it. You get a data out of it that these are my 20% of my customers who's giving me the business. Won't you and I focus, any business focus on that? It's amazing. Take an example of any services you go. Why do you and I go there? Be it any services, or Swiggy, Zomato, for example, Denso, or you have Amazon and Flipkart. Why do people go there? There will be some connection which we have made, and then the service we have got from them, right? So only we have to concentrate on that 20%. Then what? In personal finance, the most important area, 80-20 rule suggests that 80% of person's expenses comes from the 20% of their spending categories. So in my earlier videos, I had mentioned to write down your expenses, monthly expenses, find out which is the fixed expenses, about your rentals and loans and things, your tuition fees. So so what does it say? The 20% of their spending category. So find the 20% of the category which is amounting for your major expenses. And then you just have to manage that. In time management, the 80-20 rule suggests that 80% of person's results comes from 20% of their efforts. Basically, what does it say is, I have number of tasks in a day. You first few days, you just try 10 days, you can just write down, in this day, from this time I got up and what did I do? How much time did I spend? And then you track it down and find out which is for which activity I spend more time, and is it worth enough giving that much time. How beautiful, right? Now, so the 80-20 rule is not a hard and fast rule, but rather than general principle that provides a framework for understanding and unequal distribution of results. By focusing on the 20% of causes that produce 80% of results, the other way to look around. So the 20, so focus on the 20% which gives you an 80% results. That is also there. For example, I have 5 tasks. In that 5 tasks, I'll just write it down, and then I'll see, and I'll prioritize by the importance. Okay, what is important? You and I, depending upon the work and nature, I will know. Even students who are studying, I will know. I mean, A, B, C, D. This subjects I know, so I just keep it. I can give it a little more lesser time. This subject I need to work hard, so I can arrange it that way. And then I'll say this one, if I do it, that covers the entire thing. I mean, so it is brilliant option. And the part B to it, we all say, I mean, a day, make a list and do it, to-do list and things like that. So sometimes I'll have 10-15 lists and cannot do everything. From that, put it to 80-20 rule. Now let's say somebody says 80-20 rule I applied, but then still I have some 5, how do I do it? Then there's a beautiful book, it says eat your frog. What do you mean by that? From that, which is the biggest frog, which is you have to finish it off. I mean, it's either it's my deadline, or I have to do it, or it gives me the 80% results, or it's like coming into my head every time whenever I just think about any task. Eat your frog. And it says 2 big frogs, eat the biggest frog. So you and I have to decide on it and work accordingly. So that's about the 80-20 rule. So I've just few points, and like, how do I apply this 80-20 rule for personal growth? So 80-20 rules can be applied for personal growth by focusing on the 20% of the activities or behaviors that will bring you the most results. So let's read out some points with that. Prioritize your goals. I mean, if you listen to my earlier videos, and all big people, I mean, you have this topics about Brian Tracy and Jim Rohn, and you speak about any CEOs and everybody, they have a goals and list. We need to write down. Identify the 20% of your goals that will bring you the most benefits and focus on those. Let go of the goals that are not as important. Let go. I heard about Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett had his driver, and he wanted to. And the driver said, "I mean, I'm been with you for a long time, and so I just want to make money and things like that. What do I do? How do I do it? I want to achieve my goals." I mean, if I can recollect, he said, "List down your 21 goals." I mean, when I heard first, I'm like, 21 goals. Okay, fine. Tuck, 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 tuck. He's written it. Then Warren Buffett said, "Very good. Now you keep only 5, remaining you delete everything." Oh, so you keep only 5. Great. So with great brainstorming, you came with 5. Now prioritize from the 5 as a top priority, 80%, and then work on it. Simple. Let go of the goals that are not as important. See, basically, like for example, now since we are talking about money, general impression is, if we have sufficient money, everything can be done. Possible. Okay. I also agree in that. So let's work for that, right? And what are the things, plus points I have, and what I can work? I can generate number of incomes. Fine. I mean, I know person everybody knows about it. Now he's come in Forbes also, Raj Simani. So he was speaking about Raj Simani. So he was talking. He has learned about communication things. He has 7 incomes with only 1 communication skill. He does presentations, videos, YouTube videos, courses, podcasts, and then whatnot, just by communication. So with 1 skill, you can generate more money, and there are lots of people who have done it. So think about it. So second point is focus on your strength. So that was I was referring. So if you have a good communication skill, try to focus. Try to focus on it. There are lots of opportunities now. So identify your 20% of your skills and abilities that are your strength and focus on developing and utilizing them. Simple. Minimize the time wasters. So find out where am I. So in a day, what a task I'm doing, how much time I'm putting into it. So is this important? Is this giving me the result? How many results? What are the results they're giving me? Is it going towards my goal? Is it? I mean, see in personal life, am I wasting time or am I putting time in this? So where is the end goal? What is happening in this? In my office, I'm doing A, B, C, D of work. Now, my end goal is not to, I mean, you remember one of the videos I says, work on yourself rather than in a job. So basically, what does that mean? It's not that you leave your job. No. You doing a particular work, let's say, for example, you're helping for a cross-selling of the product. Now, how you can improve yourself on cross-selling that product? So which will help yourself as a good communicator, as a good person of marketing things, and that in turn will give the results to the company. Yeah, win-win situation. So minimize the time wasters. Find out which activity is taking your time more and work on the things which will give you the more results. Now, invest in self-development. One thing which nobody can take from you. I mean, you do anything. I mean, you have money, it'll go away and things. What do you say here? I mean, material things and things. So, whichever you have it, the best thing is, somebody says, if I have everything and if it starts with zero, I will learn from my knowledge what I have and I can build it on it. Simple, no? So identify the 20% of personal growth activity that will bring the most benefits, such as learning new skills and taking a course. And the last pointer in this will be networking. I mean, with this present era, you network, you mingle, you go around with people of the way you want to be, mingle with those groups you want to be like, you mingle with those. I have earlier also told, Dhirubhai Ambani had a vision he wanted to build a company and things like that. Just think about it. At a very earlier stage, when he came to Bombay, it seems he went to Taj to drink tea. Dhirubhai Ambani, he has just landed and he's working around it. Can you imagine that era? Somebody going at Taj and drinking only a cup of tea. You and I will still think now also, do I need to go and, Taj, we are not going to barista also. The mindset is, itna expensive coffee. Why is it so expensive? But his friends also was telling, it seems. What are you doing? You're wasting your money there. So what he said is, I'm not wasting time there. When I sit with a cup of tea at Taj, the quality of people who come there, the discussion what they have enriches myself and I can think in that way. And that is giving me the ideas to grow. And then everybody knows the result. So just be around, network around with good people, and that will motivate us. So focus on the 20% of people in your network who are the most valuable to your growth and prioritize building relationship with them. Okay? So by focusing on the 20% of activities that bring the most results, you can maximize your personal growth and achieve your goals faster and more effectively. 20%, 80-20 rule, 20%. All the best.